Well, hello and welcome to all of our viewers around the world. I'm Fiona Langsharp, IBCLC Director of Communications and MC here at Gold Learning. Today, I'm talking about our up and coming Gold Lactation Online event. I'm so excited. There's so much happening at this particular event this year. And, you need to go over to the website. That's the key thing, because I don't have time to go through every detail today. But let me tell you, we've got some fabulous add-on packages coming up at the Gold Lactation Conference, and you need to be in with the know. These add-on packages are really a way for you to take a deep dive into specific topics, and it just makes sure that you're up to date on all the latest evidence, clinical skills, all the things that you need to know in order to really work with those families and feel confident. Now, speaking of confidence, I'm confident today you're going to absolutely be delighted to have Summer Friedmann here with us at this event. I know that she's excited to share her topic with you. Summer, you have a lot of experience in the field of lactation, and I know how passionate you are about it. But please, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell folks, where are you in the world and what do you do for your job?
Yeah, thank you, Fiona, so much. I am very excited. Yes, I am here in Kansas City, and what I do is now I'm in private practice after about 10 years in the hospital setting. So private practice has been something for me about the last 4, and I go to mothers' homes. I do teleconferencing all over the world, wherever they might be. I lead support groups on a monthly basis. I host a Facebook group that's really big and takes it's a labor of love, but it's really very important to me because people need that kind of now help, and as long as it's run well, and that involves not only myself but moderators that are highly experienced and loving, and I couldn't do it without them. And I do some YouTube, man, and it's fun, and it's taken me where I didn't know it was going to take me, I'll tell you that. So I didn't start off doing YouTube thinking it would do much, and it's surpassed what I thought it was going to do. So pretty fun.
Well, that's awesome. Where can people find you on YouTube?
Yes, they can find me, and I am called Done Naturally on YouTube. And that is kind of that's my name everywhere. So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, that's me. So you'll find my channel there and get to.
Well, sounds like you're doing a lot of things. You're doing a lot of things.
I do a lot of things, but they're all about families and mothers and babies, and it's extremely fulfilling, and I couldn't see myself doing anything different. So I'm very lucky that I get to do that.
That's awesome. I find it very interesting because you are doing a lot of things. There's a lot of things to do. Some people still think that this field of medicine, really there isn't much to it. There's not much to be done. Here you are, full-time career. In fact, you've changed it slightly too, from hospital-based to private practice, YouTuber galore. You have a peer-to-peer support group. I mean, you're really showcasing that there not only is there a viable job here for those who are interested, but there's a real need. I mean, you don't have people that are you don't have to persuade people to come to you, do you, Summer?
No, I don't actually. Usually they come self-referred from someone else, and that couldn't be better. I mean, that's built-in vetting, which I love. And you're right that there's such a need. It's full spectrum care. We don't, I don't want families to see me once and be done. I'm available to them in many different ways so that they can have continuing care throughout their lactation experience that leads them all the way to weaning. So a lot of people think that you're not supposed to get help through weaning, and that's not part of our, lactation consultants don't help wean. Yes, we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love it. I get to see them grow as a family and grow through their journey. It's awesome.
Oh, I'm loving hearing that. And I think, offering the support right the way through, some of the time where, it's sort of showcased that getting lactation support, breastfeeding help in the first few days is really vital, to set folks up. But what happens to the drop-off point? What's happening in the first 2 weeks, the first 2 months, and then let's say the first 2 years, because
Right.
the 2 years, there's lots of things that often happen for families, and so it's an investment. And it sounds like when you start with someone, you just really want to see that all come to fruition, and you're investing for the long term.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I want to see them make it like to their goal and then past their goal, possibly next baby that happens as well. And yeah, there's a lot of nuances throughout that year,
Right.
throughout that second year. If we go to the third, I mean, it's not the same, and there's new questions every single time. And it's important for them to have someone there to trust that they can navigate all of that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, now that we've established, we know that there's a need, we know that there's a practice. We just always like to share that here, because of those of you who are coming in or new, you might be thinking, where am I take this career? Is it worthwhile? Absolutely. Here at Gold Lactation, we're all about making sure that we fulfill that gap in education, that you can continue to learn and grow professionally. And that's what takes us to our conversation now, talking about one of the add-on packages that we have this year, our Gold Lactation Conference. Now, Summer, you're going to be part of this deep dive package, and the title of the package is Forming Comprehensive Conversations for Common Breastfeeding Challenges. Now, you're talking about something very specific that I think, people are going to have a lot to say about, which I'm really excited, right? I mean, you're laughing, but let me tell you what Summer's talking about. It's called A Balancing Act, the clinical use of scales with the breastfed infant. Now, if you've never used scales before, some people have a big opinions about using scales, but Summer, you're going to take us through some of those conversations, some of the actual practical tools, use cases that it would be needed, when it's not needed, or somewhere in between, right? So the conversation is going to be good, right?
Yeah, the conversation is going to be good, and it's going to be hot. And I like that, because you're right that people do have strong opinions on either side, and some people hang out in the middle. And I think the middle is a good place to be, but I do like to spark. I like to I like to challenge things. That's where we
Sure.
can learn. And yeah, I'm excited about it. I didn't realize how passionate I am about this topic until we started talking about doing this presentation. I was like, oh my
Sure.
gosh, I actually am. I talk about this all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
um, you're right. There's times when it's appropriate and there's times when it's not. And I've been on both sides, especially in the years that I was a La Leche League leader. I still am, but like more practicing as a La Leche League leader, we weren't using scales. And then moving into the clinical setting, you're using scales on the daily. And then in the
Right.
private practice, you can use or not. And so it's been interesting to see even myself evolve, but to see sometimes how you have to kind of fight for the family, and
Right.
it can start off with the scale and
Yes.
how it might take you one direction or the other.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, having an opinion is really awesome. Looking at the evidence, what's supportive, but also keeping the family at the core, because really, we're there to provide a service, educate them, empower them to make those choices that are built in informed choice, no matter where they are, hospital, home, community, but also educating them. So how do we provide them the skills and the tools, right?
Right.
To be able to interpret what this all means, because this is where it gets really complicated. What does this all mean? What does that growth mean when you look at the scales? So I think that's why we all do have this passion about scales or not to scales, as the case
Right.
may be, right?
Right. Because it's easy. It's a number, and people for whatever reason, we love numbers,
We sure do.
and they get plotted somewhere. And so it's just a piece. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of times they see it as the piece instead of a piece of the pie.
Mm,
And you're right, getting parents to understand that it's one single piece of information, and um, the other things that they can look at themselves to instill that trust, to build that confidence so that they know we're also guiding them in the right direction. We have the baby's best interest at heart.
absolutely.
And when there is a concern, I am 100% going to tell them I have a concern. And when there's not a concern, I'm going to help the family see what I see so that then they can translate that to their physician, their midwife, their family practice doctor, whoever it might be.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say we are the translators in this part of the world, right?
Yeah.
And it is all about balance. And no pun intended, but
Yeah.
that's what we're left with. This topic is going to be about balance, but I really want to hear from folks out there too. I want them to bring their questions. Let's work together on this. Summer, me, and all of you that are listening, come together. Summer is going to be here as part of our Gold Forum, so we'll be able to put topics, questions in there, really get into some great detail about, how this is even impacting our communities, our lactation consultants, no matter where they practice. So there's going to be such great topic and conversation all around this. So thank you again, Summer. I'm excited. Let's do this, right? We're going to have a fabulous presentation. All of you will be able to come and join and learn from Summer at our GOLD Lactation Conference 2023. You can head over to the website right now, goldlactation.com, to register for the entire event and add on this package to your registration. Thank you again, Summer, for joining me here today. It's been fabulous chatting with you.
Thank you very much.
All right. And to all of our viewers again out there, thank you for joining us here today. And we will look forward to having you back here very soon. Bye-bye for now, everyone.